Hi, very good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Realty Talk. I'm Eugene Lim, and joining me tonight is our CEO, Mr. Marcus Chu. Hello, Marcus.
Hello,
Welcome to
good
the
evening,
show.
everyone. And we are certainly having a very interesting topic tonight. In Show Me the Money tonight, we will be turning data into dollars.
Yes, that's right. Data is everywhere, and many times we are faced with too much information, too much data, and it comes to an extent that it's information overload. So it's very important to make sense of data, right, Marcus?
Absolutely. That's why it's important for us to make sure that we make informed buying and selling decisions. And most importantly, make money from
property investments. Yes, that's right. So before we start, as usual, we will be sharing quite a lot of information for you to make informed decisions about buying and selling real estate. But as we know it, real estate investments carry risks, and everyone's risk appetite and financial capability is different. So do a personal assessment of what is your appetite for the risk as well as your financial capabilities before you jump onto the bandwagon. So let's go through what we are going to cover this evening. So basically, we have five main points in the agenda. Firstly, we're going to dissect the first quarter property market data and try to interpret what it means for you and me, right?
Right.
And secondly, we're going to look at government land sales. Government land sales is a primary source of land for developers, and that has a tremendous implication on new launch prices going forward. So yes, we're going to look at that tonight. And then, of course, new home prices. Is it slowing down? Is it continuing to increase? Is it slowing down? So very important point in the market to after the first quarter, let's look at the numbers. What is it telling us? There's also unsold stock in the market. Recently, some analysts have reported that the unsold stock is increasing. So unsold stock means stock that is not found buyers, right? So is there a cause for concern for everyone, right? What's the implications for the market? And of course, lastly, because we want to show you the money, we cannot leave you without telling you what are the good deals in the market, right? So also, you may want to stand by your mobile phones because there will be some segments in tonight's show when we can connect with you by you scanning on some of our slides to get some more information about the properties or about the information that we want to share with you.
Right. So if you want good deals, stand by your mobile phone to
snap the code.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So
let's move into the first quarter 2024 property market data.
Yes.
What does it mean to you and me?
Right, Marcus, as we can see from the table, the rate of increase in private property prices, especially for landed and non-landed in the quarter one, has slowed down. So is this good news for property buyers? Does it mean that the market is beginning to turn in their favor?
Okay, let's take a look at the slides that's presented here. All right, under the property type non-landed, the growth since first quarter 2020 all the way till now is about 32%. And as for landed is 40%, and HDB is about 39%. But first quarter 2024, okay, I've just circled that number there. For HDB is 1.8%, and for non-landed condos is 1%. And indeed, landed property is still growing at about 2.6%. So property prices are still increasing and at a moderate pace for first quarter 2024. Also, Q1 data is typically affected by, Chinese New Year. Yes, Chinese New Year activities. And so I believe prices will continue to be on their uptrend.
But why would you say that property prices is on the uptrend? Why is this so? Because first quarter, we see that prices compared to the previous quarter, the price growth still growing but slower, has slowed down. So why do you say that prices will continue?
All right, that's exactly why we are doing tonight's Realty Talk.
Yeah.
because new home prices will be continue to increase for several reasons, and perhaps one of the most obvious reasons is that there is higher land and development costs, as well as high interest rates.
I see.
All right, and this filter down to the resale market, and sellers will have to sell higher price due to higher replacement costs.
I see. So it's due to higher costs and higher interest.
Oh, we'll touch into detail
yeah, so we're
later
going
on
to look
as we
into
move along.
more details.
Okay.
Okay. So what about HDB prices?
I think HDB is for owner occupation and not so much for investment. Would you agree?
That's
Eugene?
right. So typically HDB prices are not bought for investment. They cannot be bought for investment.
Right, so we are talking about HDB resale flat.
Correct. So HDB resale flat, the primary source of buyers are those buying for owner occupation, not for investment.
So it's actual supply and demand.
Correct. So when price goes up, that means it simply means that there's not enough flats, not enough resale flats to cater to demand. That's why it drives prices up. So we are continuing to see that, but what's important to note is that the price, though it has increased, the price increase has slowed down compared to previously. So if we see that from the table, you can see that from first quarter 2023, all the way to current quarter, first quarter 2024, the rate of increase per quarter is by 1%. If we compare this to 2022, if you look at the whole of 2022, every quarter, the price of HDB flats has been going up by over 2%. So in a way, the price increase in the HDB resale market has slowed down quite significantly.
Right, so last year, the whole of last year until now, per quarter is about 1% growth.
Yes.
And then in 2022, it's about 2% growth per quarter. And if we look even further back in 2021, what I observe here is around 3%.
That's right.
Okay, so it's like whatever that's happening in the HDB resale market, the price growth is tapering, is moderating. Am I right to say that, Eugene?
That's right. So moderating in simple terms means growth is slowing down, but still growing.
Right. Okay, let's take a look at the private residential transaction volume.
Yeah.
And you have actually decreased.
Yes. So what does this mean, right? So
is there any cause for concern?
Also, while overall volume, so if we look at overall volume for first quarter, it totals out to be 4,230 units. That's a shade less than the previous quarter's 4,300. But this is the total volume. So, but if we look at first quarter's new home transactions, the first column, all right, it actually shows an increase to 1,164 from previously about 1,000 units. So there is an increase in the volume of new home transactions, right? And you know, and we know that new home transactions are typically driven by new launches. So whenever there's new launches, transaction volume will pick up, right? Yeah.
Right, that's true. So looking at the strong performance of Lentor Mansion, which saw about 75% of the total, 533 units on the launch weekend, it shows that homeowners and investors will snap up unit when they see a project that appeals to them.
That's right. So we cannot say that the market is weakening, right? We cannot say that the market is weakening. It shows that demand is there, but they are actually keeping their ammunition, right, to look at, if they chance upon a good product, right, good design, good price, all right, and in a good location, the market will move in.
All right, so let's check on the HDB resale application in first quarter 2024, and we observe this is the highest since third quarter 2022, despite an increase in BTO supply. It looks like, if the government floods the HDB supply with a lot of BTO flats, but how come resale is still growing strong?
So the point to note is this: while BTO supply has increased, it caters primarily to first-time buyers because the large number of resale flats, the large number of BTO flats are set aside for first-time home buyers. There are people who do not qualify for BTO flats. There are also buyers who cannot wait the 3 to 4 years to take delivery of these BTO flats. So as such, the only source of HDB flats is through the resale market.
Right. So you have seen a growth of quarter to quarter, 8% growth. Huh?
That's right. So if we look at first quarter's resale numbers at 7068, right, it's actually the highest, right? The highest since the third quarter of 2022.
Right.
Right. So it shows that underlying demand remains strong, and simply means that there's quite a lot of people who prefer, right, to look for resale flats rather than wait for BTO, because BTO primarily caters to first-timers and those that can wait.
Okay, let's take a look at where is the demand on what type of flat, resale flat type.
Okay, so let's go by the flat types. So if we look at this chart here,
right.
Okay, the question is,
can we still find flats that is
below
reasonably priced below 500,000?
Okay, let's go flat type by flat type.
Right.
So if we look at the 3-room flat, all right, 3-room flats, the red color bar, all right, comparing first quarter 2023 and first quarter 2024, you will see that there's still quite the bulk of the majority of 3-room flats are well below $300,000. So if we look at well below $500,000.
Okay, so red bar indicates 250K to 500K.
That's right.
Yes.
So the green bar, wow, there are HDB 3-room flats, resale flats being transacted for between 500 to 750,000. These are
green.
This is the green bar. This is the minority.
So it looks like there's a lot of flats that is sold at this range for 4-room and 5-room flats.
So for 4-room, the bulk of the flats are priced actually 500 to 750,000, the green bar, right? 5-room have more green bar. So similarly with the 5-room flats, right? The green colored bar form the bulk of the transactions, which means there are flats transacted for between 500
and
to
this is a very consistent demand trend.
That's right.
All right. Even for last year and this year, it's about the same. So there's still a lot of affordable HDB resale flats.
That's right. That's right. So let's go on.
Okay. So in a nutshell, Eugene.
Yeah.
Where is the property market heading in first quarter 2024?
So at the end of first quarter, we can safely say that growth in home prices, private home prices, has slowed down.
And it's still growing.
And it's still growing. Growth slowed down, but still growing, but at a slower pace.
Isn't that what our government wants?
Yes. So they have implemented a slew of measures, cooling measures, ABSD, and also I think coupled with the interest rate environment, all right, has led to a slowdown in price growth.
All right. But however, it is still growing at a sustainable rate.
That's right.
All right.
So what we don't want to see is growing at unsustainable rate. So that's bad.
Okay. Private residential transactions decreased for three consecutive quarters already.
Third consecutive quarter. But as we said, it is primarily driven by the number of new home launches. So as the new home launches step up, increase in volume, we will expect real estate transactions to increase. And this will usually filter down to the resale market.
You know what? Actually, I sense some opportunity here, all right? Because when will you buy property? When the market is red hot or when the market has not many transactions?
So some people will say, I will follow the crowd. I will buy when it's red hot.
Okay.
But some people say, when there's not many transactions, that's where opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, I think I prefer that. That the best time to buy is when people are slowing down in their purchase.
Yes, there you have opportunities. And opportunities will present themselves.
So how about the last point that you observed in first Q 2024 data?
So resale transaction volume for HDB has increased. It will continue to increase because the upgraded, there are people who upgrade from smaller HDB flat types to larger HDB flat types, and those from larger HDB flat types to to what? To private property.
Okay.
So resale applications will continue to increase.
All right. Next, we're going to talk about the recent government land sales result, right, which is pretty muted. Okay, Eugene?
Yes. So let's look at the number of bidders. So Marcus, it seems that the number of developers that are bidding for government land sales sites have been declining. And some people in the market is saying that developers actually becoming more and more afraid of the market. So is this true?
Okay, let's take a look at the chart here. It shows the average number of developer bidding for GLS site.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, can we explain what is GLS site?
Okay, so to the uninitiated, as a developer, if I'm a property developer, I have two sources of land. All right. The first source of land is primarily through government land sales.
Okay,
tender.
in short, GLS.
GLS.
Right.
Right. Second source of land, of course, is the en bloc market.
Okay.
Right.
That's the collective
so,
sales.
Yes, but okay. So very often, we see more developers buying GLS sites because it's a more straightforward process. And after bidding for the land, your time to market from the time you bought the land to the time you're able to launch the project is much shorter than if they were to buy land from the collective sale or en bloc market. So we look at the GLS bidding, all right, very often as an indicator of how hot the market is, and also the direction which property prices will be heading.
So let's look at the average number of developer biddings.
Yeah.
In 2019 is on an average of 6 per GLS site.
Yeah.
Okay, then 2028 per GLS site, 2021 is
All-time high.
8.7. Then it fell in 2022 to 4.4, 2023, 3.4. And currently, for the first 4 months of this year, it has dropped to 1.8 bid
Wow, what is
per
happening?
GLS site. And let's take a look at the numbers in more detail. This shows a total of 27 sites awarded over the past 2 years plus, the last 2 years plus. All right, that is since
Second
first,
half.
first half 2019 all the way to the first 4 months of this year. So over about 2 years plus. So almost 27, I mean for 27 residential GLS sites that has been awarded, this actually works out to almost 1 site every month, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, which means developer has been loading up over the last 2 years plus. So if they have bought GLS site, what would they have to do?
They have to spend time,
all right,
to
plan, all right,
design,
to design,
and
to launch and to market it.
Yes.
Yeah, because after buying, developer
yeah.
has to sell.
Yes.
Okay, so which means developer is already very busy with the sites on hand.
Correct.
All right, even though there are more GLS sites that is launched by the government, the developer may still be working on the existing sites they already have.
Yeah.
All right, unless there is an attractive site that presents more opportunity, it is therefore unlikely that they will be aggressively bidding for it right now.
That's right. So from a developer perspective, so I would be very selective now because most developers have already bought land.
Yeah.
And they are busy
Right.
either at the design stage or
Right.
at the already marketing stage.
So we can explain that
Yeah.
the fall in the number of bids from developer per GLS site right now is because developer will not bid aggressively for site as their supply for GLS is already enough.
Yes.
And they will, however, they will still be willing to pay more for them if
It's a good
the
site.
sites
Yeah.
provides opportunity. Okay, so let's take a look at the GLS private residential sites tender for the first 4
Yeah.
months of this year that equates to the average bid of
So-
1.8.
Yeah. So Marcus, I want to ask you this: if you look at the table, out of the 4 sites, out of the 6 sites,
That is awarded.
yes, there's 4 out of the 6 sites have only 1 bid. Right? 3 have been awarded, 1 is rejected. The January one, Marina Gardens,
Okay, this one is
that one is
rejected.
not awarded but the 3,
This is rejected.
The 3 subsequently that were tender, close tender, March and April, the Jurong Lake Gardens, the Upper Thomson side, the Zion Road side, they all each have 1 bidders. So the market thought was, wow, in January, the only 1 bidder rejected, the rest sure reject. But how come they are awarded? I mean,
Okay, we have to deep dive and understand why
yeah,
for these 3 GIS sites that is awarded,
only receive 1 bid.
yeah, only 1 bid. Let's take a look further. All right.
Okay.
Why? I got to tell you what developer is facing right now, Eugene.
Okay.
Okay.
So all the while I thought developer's job is easy peasy. Just buy the land, develop, mark up the price, sell, make profit, make lots of profit. Right? It's very easy game.
Right. That is not in Singapore.
Oh, is that so? Why?
Yes, in Singapore, there is more things for developer to consider, especially in today's property market. Okay, if you take a look what developer is facing today, okay, from 1 to 6 is just some of the challenges that developer is facing. Number 1, higher for longer interest rate. Number 2, higher construction labor costs and professional fees. Number 3, higher business risk. Number 4, higher property tax. Number 5, harmonization rules, less saleable area. Number 6, additional cost of provision for community use and sustainable consideration. Okay, we're going to deep dive on
into
all these challenges that developer is facing, that is exposed in the market today. Okay, so first up is the higher for longer interest rate. You know, in the US, there's this gentleman by the name of Mr. Jerome Powers.
Oh, he's the chairman of the Fed, right?
Looks like one of the most powerful guy in the world that will dictate the interest rate, all right, of and they announce in their FOMC meeting. FOMC in short for Federal Open Market Committee. And almost every month they meet up, you know, with this Mr. Jerome Powers, together with all his advisor, okay? And it shows that the Fed has
recently, right?
maintained the overnight Fed fund rates at 5.23 to 5.5%. So it looks like interest rates are set to stay higher for longer.
Well, but didn't they signal earlier on in the year that they are going to cut interest rates, and we were all
Actually,
talking
during,
about it.
during the last Realty Talk, we talked about, hey, there could be 3 to 5 rounds of interest rate cut for this year.
So it looks like it has changed.
Yes, situation have changed.
But let's say we look at today's home loan interest rates. I think some people are getting it around 3% nowadays compared to over 4% previously. I think that's cheap, right? I mean, in today's context.
Yeah, of course, if you compare to interest rate like 5 or 6%, then it's cheap. That's residential property is about 3%, but for commercial loans, it is more than that.
So you're saying that developers borrow money at higher interest rate?
Yes, developers borrow money to develop lands on commercial loan.
Oh.
So commercial loan rates is usually 1.75% above the
SORA.
above the SORA rates.
Okay.
So it will be above 5%.
So in today's context, yeah, you're right. It will come up to above 5% because SORA is about 3 point something.
Yeah, but if you buy a residential property for investment, it's about 3%.
Yeah.
But for developer, they have to pay more than 5%.
So I'm paying below SORA.
Yeah, so developer actually paying higher borrowing costs
I see.
than the investor who is buying their products, because you pay a mortgage rate of about 3% only. Okay, but let's take a look at the FOMC forecast. FOMC meetings interest rate basis point. Okay, currently the basis point is 5.25 or rather 525 to 550. Okay, well, when they say 25 basis point means 0.25. When they say these are 50 basis point means 0.5. Okay, so 525 means 5.25.
Okay.
All right. So next month, 12 June, these people,
meeting again.
Mr. Jerome and his gang will meet out again, all right, on the 12th June. And you know what? They will be also giving his decision whether want to maintain interest rate or cut interest rate.
Okay.
Okay. Looks like
so the
market analysts okay, we call it market consensus.
Okay.
All right. 85.8% of all the smart people, the economists and the analysts predict that next month interest rate
Will stay the same.
will stay the same.
Oh,
Just like what we're seeing this month
okay.
in May.
So that's June.
And then in July, majority will also say remain.
Wow.
Okay, September?
So any light at the end of the tunnel?
Well, if you look at the green bar, that is where majority says. In September,
Okay.
there is
Some
light
hope.
that interest rate may cut by 25 basis point.
But only 45%, not the majority.
Okay, in November,
Uh,
43% says yes,
okay lah, got some hope.
yeah. All right, will cut by that 25 basis point. And in December, all right, majority will say. So majority thinks that the interest rate will cut by only 25 basis point.
So a slight cut,
Yeah, a slight cut, meaning
better than no cut.
higher for longer interest rate.
Okay.
So if you look at how developer works is that they have to consider this, in pricing their property.
Yes.
So if they are paying higher interest rate, what will this means to new launches?
They have to sell at higher prices.
Of course, they have to sell at
Yeah,
higher
of course
price.
they have to cover their costs.
Okay. Next point, higher constructions, labor costs, and professional fee. Okay, let me tell you this right now. All right, construction cost is forecast to go up by 5%
This
in
year.
2024. Okay, so even labor costs have also gone up by 14.6%. All right, for medium wage since 2020, and with more sites needing additional site-related studies. All right, the developer need to pay higher professional fees.
Yes.
You know what is professional fee? Besides the architect, the engineers, okay, there's also studies that is required
Yes.
by government.
Correct.
Okay, later on we go into detail on that.
Yes.
All right.
Nowadays, the land sales standard conditions have, they increase.
Yeah.
They make it more
So
stringent.
in Singapore,
Yeah.
there is more things developer is expected to do.
Yes.
It's not so simple as buying a plot of land and start developing. No.
Yeah.
Before you even can start developing, you have to submit all your plans for approval.
Yes.
Okay, so next is higher business risk. So what does this mean? Okay, first we all know that developer has to pay ABST if they don't sell out
Yes.
that development within 5 years of the purchase, from the
Yeah.
purchase of the land, right? So, of course, this higher ABST will
Also impact
impact, right?
buyer. Yeah. A lot
Okay.
of buyer hold back.
Yes. No, I mean, buyer hope that developer will cut their price
Yeah.
closer to ABST.
Yeah.
But there again, this also poses risk to developer
Correct.
if they didn't price it correctly.
Correct.
So they cannot sell high, but yet they have to sell high. Okay?
Yes.
But they have to sell out the property, they have to price it reasonably. Okay, so it's a challenge. Next is also shifting demographics, harder to pin down the right concept of unique mix. You know what is that?
Unique mix means I think the number of different sizes. The 2-bedroom, how many units, the 3-bedroom, how many units, and the 4-bedroom, how many. So different sizes. So every development has what we call a different unit mix, I think, depending on the market segment that they
Okay,
choose
actually
to-
in
Yeah.
today, we are seeing a shift in demographics,
Yeah.
like aging population,
Okay.
rising number of singles, and probably even divorcees,
Yeah. So
and also
household
rising
size-
number of DINK,
Yeah.
D-I-N-K. All right, it means dual income, no kids,
kids. Oh.
family. And all of the above profile of people have different housing needs.
Correct.
So it's not easy to calibrate
Yeah.
what is the unit size that is suitable for the potential demands.
Yes.
Okay, so not easy job for developer.
Yeah.
So it depends also on the profile of buyers that you want to draw up for that development. Okay, of course, DINKs may prefer to have the flexibility of space, which allows them to entertain their friends and family. So you see a rising number of transactions for bigger units.
Yes.
Okay, and this year we also see higher risk for sites with some special requirements.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Let's
let's
look at-
deep dive into that.
Yeah.
Okay, for example, Jurong Lake District.
Okay.
All right, there is this master developer sites,
Okay.
and these sites actually is bidded by a team of 5 developers
Yeah.
to play the role of a master developer.
Okay.
All right, who are the developers? They are namely CapitaLand, CDL, Frasers, Mitsubishi, and Mitsui. All right, so this is essentially a town planning across 3 plots, which is progressively completed over the next 10 to 15 years.
Wow. So it's a very big site and a very long development time.
Okay, so these developers for these Jurong Lake Garden sites require adequate knowledge and experience in developing not just property, but also township, in Singapore.
Yes.
So it's not so simple. So therefore, they require expertise in master planning, especially places that are livable, people-centric, and environmental sustainable.
Wow. So that's a very tall order considering that Jurong East is a very built-up area.
Actually, it's a very big site. It's as big as 700 square feet or 6.5 hectare or something like 10.5 football field for this site. Okay, and they have to develop at least 146,000 square meter or 1.5 million square feet office.
Yes.
That's like 1.5 times the size of Vivo City for the office.
So it's
space.
A white site. So white site, for those who do not know, is basically a mixed development site. So it's not pure residential. So it has to have a mixture of office,
and for new homes, it's about
1,007
residential units.
Yeah.
And 73,000 square meter of gross floor area for complementary use such as shops, restaurant, entertainment, hotels, community use, and more office.
Wow.
So this project is set to become the Singapore largest business district outside the current central area. All right, will be progressively completed, like I said, 10 to 15 years, so it will take a long time.
Yes.
So all these developers will stay in the next 10 to 15 years to work together to make this happen. Okay.
So this is a very huge development project and also require a lot of capital and expertise.
Absolutely. That's why it's not so simple.
Yeah.
It's not so simple as putting in the bid. You must know your job.
Yeah.
Okay. The other sites that is, there's this Zion Road Puzzle A, right?
Yeah.
Which is developer need to do this thing. Okay, which means they need to operate long stay service apartment.
Wow.
Okay, what does this mean? What is this long stay service apartment? Okay, it means minimum 3 months stay. So any tenant who wants to stay there have to have minimum. And these sites will see 1,170 units, okay, including 435 SA2 unit. SA stands for service apartment. All right, service apartment units. Okay.
Okay. So why is this new asset class? Isn't there a lot of investment properties already in River Valley area and the Zion Road area, right? So as there's also a lot of upcoming supply, right? So is there not enough units to cater to the rental market? Why do we need a new category of service apartment?
Okay, I think that's excellent questions, because seriously, what is available in terms of data is on the supply side. So we know that there is an incoming huge completions property, all right, TOP property.
Yes.
So that kind of data we can get, all right? The whole market can get. The media also writing about it, okay, saying that a lot of supply for leasing is in the pipeline. So because a lot of supply, all right, the rents may come down.
Yes.
Okay. So but then on the demand side, okay, which means who is going to rent if there is increased supply? We don't have that data.
Okay.
Okay. So who has that data? Probably the government has that data. So perhaps I believe why the government is doing this is because of a few possible reasons.
Okay.
All right. Perhaps they want to meet the demands of tenant with the tight rental market that will lead to high rental rates.
Yeah.
So there may be a lot of people that is coming Singapore.
Yes.
This kind of information we don't know.
Yeah.
So government is planning ahead.
Yeah.
All right, because if rental still remain high, what this means is foreign company would think that Singapore is not competitive. But in order for Singapore to be competitive, the cost of bringing all this talent in Singapore, which include rental of properties, has to stay reasonable, right?
Yes.
Cannot be too high, right?
Correct.
So by doing so, is by raising more supply.
Ensuring more supply available.
Yes, yes. And there's also a rising supply of co-living space. I believe they are also doing very well.
Yes.
Okay. For that reasons, also probably government sees an opportunity in this segment, and their job is to ensure sufficient supplies of units over the longer term.
I see.
So it's not so short term.
I see. So will this move by the government affect investors' interest, right? Especially those that want to buy residential properties for investment to rent out. I mean, the government is essentially competing with us.
Well, if investors is looking for long-term capital appreciation and not rental income, all right?
Yeah. So you're saying that typically when investors buy in Singapore for investment, they don't typically look at just rental income, right? They also the primary attraction of buying residential properties is to build wealth, right? Build capital appreciation, preserve capital.
Yeah, you really have to make sense of what government is always trying to tell us, which is sustainable growth over the longer term.
Yeah.
So property investment is over the longer term. Right? So it's not a short-term game, it's a long-term game.
Okay.
Okay.
So Marcus, the site is awarded, right? This one awarded to who?
The site is awarded to CDL joint venture for 1.1 billion, which is a land rate of 1,200 plus PSF. That is 30.6% lower than the nearest site that was sold in Jakim Street in 2017. And that site is the Riviera site.
Wow.
So
30% lower.
yes.
What a bargain that CDL got, man.
All right, but CDL is very familiar with this location. They also done their studies for extensive, and with extensive hospitality capabilities, they are able to do this. But I would not say that this could be a bargain, okay?
Why
Because
is that so?
CDL has to undertake the risk of that long stay service apartment asset class.
Yeah.
And what happens if it don't work out
Yeah.
and you don't have tenant? Because this is untested.
Yeah, and it's quite a substantial amount, right? Because there's supposed to be 435 service apartments in this whole site.
Right.
Right, that's quite a big number.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at the next one, which is higher property tax. Okay. Eugene, can you explain why developer have to pay higher property tax?
Okay, so it doesn't mean that the developer, when they buy the land and it's vacant, there's no property on it, you don't need to pay property tax, right? So property tax for land under development is calculated using a fixed formula, as we can see on the slide there. Okay, you take 10% property tax rate
Of the
times
annual
value.
okay.
But annual value is using a statutory formula, which is 5% times the freehold market value
Right.
of the land.
Right.
So even if the developer had bought a leasehold land
Right.
at leasehold prices,
Right.
their property will be assessed based on freehold value.
Okay, now we all experience it. You know, most recent year, I mean, this year, we've seen an increase in our own property tax also.
That's right.
So because annual value have gone up.
Yes.
So for all the sites, all the annual value has also gone up.
Yes.
So they have to pay more.
Unfortunately, it's tied to land value. And
Right.
land prices keep going up.
Yes, so they have to pay more.
Yes.
Okay, so next is harmonization rules. Less saleable area. I think by now all of us know what is this. So with this new rule, developer is expected to see a drop of 8 to 10% saleable area compared to previously.
Yes.
Okay, so can you explain
So let
more
me
about
explain.
this?
A simple way to understand harmonization rule is that before this rule came into effect, so let's look at Langtor Modern. Langtor Modern, a typical 2-bedroom, 63 square meters of GFA. All right, the saleable area would include 5 square meter balcony and a 3 square meter aircon latch.
Okay,
Post harmonization rule,
Right.
okay, Langtor mentioned
Right.
It's the first project to be affected by this.
but if you look at the price PSF for
Yeah.
Lentor Modern is 2067
Yeah.
per square foot. And for Lentor Mansion, launch this year is 2,342. It's higher in PSF.
So I have less saleable area.
Right.
I have to make up for it as a developer by selling higher per square foot price. Obviously, right?
Obviously.
Because now the aircon latch cannot be included in the saleable area.
So
this
this pink color
Yes.
space here is the aircon latch.
The aircon latch cannot be included. And amongst other things, this is one simple example. Other things like void areas and all
So
that
if you can
also
take a
cannot
look
be
at it, the
included.
percentage increase in price have gone up by 13.3%
Correct.
in terms of PSF.
Yeah.
So which means new launch price is more expensive because of these harmonizations rules.
Correct.
Okay, next one is the additional cost of provision of community use and sustainable consideration. This is very interesting, Eugene. All right. Developer is expected to do part of the community and environment as well.
This is called national service.
For instance, the media circle site, there is a requirement for the developer to set aside space for community use.
Yes, correct.
This will stipulate in the tender document that the developers will need to provide open space for community to hold events.
Correct. So this space is not saleable, cannot sell. So in the whole development, they have to provide this space so that the community can use it to organize community events.
Wow. So you have to do extra national service.
Yes. So you buy the land, but that portion of land you're going to set aside
You got
for
commitment
to
fulfill.
Yes. So therefore, I have to recover the land cost from somewhere else, right? So I have to sell higher price per square foot.
Obviously. All right. Next is another site here.
Upper Thomson site. Very interesting.
What is this biodiversity
study?
The biodiversity biodiversity sensitive urban design strategies.
Okay, so this site particularly is near or next to the central catchment nature area. So if you go there today, it's very green, lots of trees.
Right.
Animals are living there. Okay, plant life is abundant. But when you clear the site for development, what's going to happen?
You will disturb the nature there.
You will disturb the nature there. So biodiversity study means you have to take into account the impact of construction on nature, and therefore the way you develop the site and the way you build, and there are some things also you have to conserve in order to preserve
just make sure that you
there.
don't disturb the nature, the environment.
So go one big round, what it simply means is that
higher
the
cost,
developer incur more costs.
Yeah, higher
because
cost of construction.
I have to do study. From the study, I have to make adjustment to my development plan, and then I may not have so much area to sell after that.
And therefore, they have to adjust on the land price bid, which means lower.
So they bid low.
Yes, lower bid.
And only one developer bid.
And those who are daring enough to take all these challenges, to do all these studies and all these consultation.
They got the site.
All right. So in a nutshell, making sense of the recent GRS result, more sites is awarded since 2021 until now.
Yes.
So therefore, it is very normal to see lesser developer that will be participating in the GRS, unless it is some sites that provide huge opportunity.
Correct.
All right, for profit for developer. Next is also developer needs to undertake a lot of additional risks, all right, and higher development costs. Okay, so not so easy.
So not so easy to cut
make,
price, even though land
to
price
make
is
profit
low.
for developer. Seriously, all right. Don't think the developer always make a lot of income.
Okay,
or
let's
profit,
go on to our next topic,
which is new home price
prices.
going up or down.
Yeah.
I think it's quite obvious. Just now we explained quite a lot that there's no way that price is coming down. Eugene.
Correct.
Okay, so let's take a look at the average price of new home. This is new home. That means the new project launches. Do you notice that the average price gap is narrowing across the region?
Yes. So if we compare CCR and RCR prices, the gap is narrowing.
CCR, RCR
previously used to be 36%.
Now it's
24%.
Okay, so it's narrower.
So the same situation we see for RCR and OCR.
Which is also narrowing.
Yes, previously 28%, now it's 17%.
So how do we make sense of this?
So what to do? What should we do? So the logical thing to do, all right, is to upgrade. Correct? Because you upgrade, it's worthwhile to upgrade.
I think that's part of build wealth and preserve wealth. We should upgrade that to the next region.
Correct. So very simple example. If you're currently in HDB, right, and HDB prices we know has risen. So actually the price gap between HDB and OCR price has also narrowed.
Right.
Okay. So it makes sense for you to upgrade from HDB to mass market
To
condo
OCR?
in
Then
OCR.
from OCR upgrade
OCR,
to
if you want OCR unit, you can upgrade to
RCR?
RCR because the gap is narrow.
Yes.
And RCR is to upgrade to CCR.
Right.
So what happens if you're a CCR? What should I do? I already...
Well,
what should I
then
upgrade
buy
to?
a bigger house in CCR.
Oh, so CCR changed to another bigger, better house in CCR.
CCR, that's right.
Logical choice, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So what might new home price be heading?
Yeah, simple answer, up.
Yeah, lah, we discussed
all
so
those
much already.
factors we already talked about.
So
it-
developer
it's
has to
leading us
undertake higher risk developer cost, and
Yes.
therefore the price is
going up.
still going north.
Okay.
All right, let's do a case study for Lentor Hill Estate versus Upper Thomson Parcel A. Price to hold even with lower land cost.
Yeah.
All right, Eugene, I think the best example for this is, can you explain
Let me
more
explain.
about this?
Okay. So if we look at the recent tenders in the Langtor area, the land price is low, right? 900 plus per square foot, compared to previously Langtoria and before Langtoria, Hillock Green, all the land price were 1,000 and above.
Okay,
per
it's
square foot
shown on
people are.
the curve here is that all the
Yes.
grey bar are all
Yeah.
Lentor area.
So the market buyers are are saying that, hey, developer got the land cheaper. Does it mean they go sell cheaper? Short answer to that is no lah, because we have already gone through the factors why developers bid lower, because they have to account for the additional costs, right? And also the all the studies that they have to do, right? And all the rising costs. So therefore, this actually higher cost factor prevent them from cutting prices. Even though in theory, you look at it, 900 plus versus 1,000 plus, you have some fat there to cut your selling price, right? But they can't because the additional cost
Yeah, lah.
over the land cost has already...
For the Upper Thomson side, we just explained on the biodiversity,
Correct.
sensitivity, and urban
Yeah.
design requirement. That really actually have increased their cost substantially.
Yes.
So what does this mean to the buyer? I think there's
So
still...
if you are waiting for Upper Thomson, Upper Thomson may take a few years to launch, because they have to do
all these studies, to get the
they
approval
have to
before
take
launch.
approval and all that.
Right,
So
right.
if you are looking to buy into the area, I think the most straightforward example would be to go for Langtor.
Oh,
There
the
are,
Lentor
there
Hill
are
estates.
ample projects in Langtor Hill Estates.
Right.
Right, and different design, different market, different kind of design, different look and feel. You can find one that definitely will suit your taste.
Right. So don't expect the Upper Thomson sites to be priced lower than Lentor.
So if you are looking into the Langtor area and if you are looking at new condos, you can contact us by scanning this QR code. So you take your phone, all right, and use the camera mode to scan this QR code, and you will be able to send
Enquiries
Enquiries.
for all the new condo launches in the Lentor Hill areas.
Yes,
All
the
right.
DRA projects.
Next is let's talk about another very interesting topic, which is the higher unsold stock.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So
the unsold stock today seems to be increasing. Is there a cause for concern?
okay, let's look at the data for better understanding.
Okay.
Okay, these are the unsold stocks that is remaining. Okay, over the years. All right. As we look into these numbers, as at first quarter 2024, we are at 20,000.
Okay.
Okay.
So this
And it has been creeping up since 2021.
Yeah.
So as you can see, from 14,000 slowly up to 16, 17, and now 20,000. All right. By judging from the chart itself, if you take into consideration only 3 years, it looks like the unsold stock is like increasing, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But if you take a longer time horizon and judge from what you see in the chart over the past few years,
So we compare
it
with
is not that
2018.
high.
Yeah.
Okay, on the 5-year average,
Yeah.
all right, and the 10-year average, it is still below.
Yeah.
Okay, the 5-year average is shown by the red dotted line. The 10-year average is shown by the darker dotted line.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1, 2, and 3 represents the year that has the highest
Number of
unsold
sold stock.
stocks. And if you say 20,000 is high, what about in 2018 we got 35,000?
Yeah.
All right, 2011 we have 40,000, and 2008 we have 44,000.
That's right.
So I would say relatively this is reasonably low.
So while it has increased, we are still manageable, right? Because why? The current stock, if you look at the next slide, actually we look at it, then it probably take only 2 years to clear, right? Only takes 2 years to clear.
Oh, you are talking about this unsold stock that only take around 2 years to clear.
Yeah.
All right. How do we read this? Is that over in 2018,
Yeah.
the 5-year average absorption based on that is actually 3.9 years.
Yeah.
And 10 years average is this. But right now in 2024, the number of years to clear the stocks is shorter.
Yeah.
So what this means is if you take slightly shorter, possibly you probably don't have to wait for price to come down.
Correct.
Because
so
if we sold out by then.
If developer can clear stock within 2 years, they will not cut price, right? If there's so much stock in the market, then yes, there's a reason and there's a push factor.
So what I'm trying to say is that the unsold stock will be absorbed,
correct,
all right, within 2.2 years
Yes.
to 2.3 years.
correct.
Okay. So what are the good deals in the market right now, Eugene?
Okay, so let's go and like I said, we are not going to leave you without telling you where are the good deals.
But with so many, million-dollar flats, are there any affordable HDB flats in the market?
Of course, let me show you. So if we look at 4-room flats, which is the highly desired flat type,
Okay,
the
so
most popular type of transactions.
We have prepared a 4-room flats below 600,000.
Are there 4-room flats below
First quarter.
600,000? Yes, based on first quarter transactions, okay, there are 772 units, okay, located in Jurong West, Choa Chu Kang, Bukit Panjang, Woodlands, Yishun, Sengkang, Punggol, Hougang. All right, about 700 over units, and this is about 26% of the total 4-room flat transactions for Q1.
Well, but if purchaser of HDB flat feels that 4-room is a bit small, what about 5-room flats?
Okay, 5-room, we also have done some compilation. So most of the 5-room flat transactions that are below 700,000, okay, and there are 500 over transactions in the first quarter. All right, then they are found in Jurong West, Choa Chu Kang, Bukit Batok,
Choa Chu Kang, Bukit Batok again.
quite
Woodlands
similar
again,
areas, okay, the northern band.
except for Yishun.
Yes,
We will see more 5-room flat in Yishun
yes.
and Sengkang, Punggol.
So 1 out of 3 resale flat 5-room flat transactions is below 700,000, right?
So it's still affordable.
Yes.
Still good deals
Still can
out there
find.
for HDB resale flats.
Yes.
Okay. So
What about condos?
are there any great buys for new launch condos?
So let's look at some examples, Marcus.
All right. So let me show you some here that is in the northwestern part of Singapore, which is very near to, it's at Dairy Farm, okay, in District 23.
Yeah.
This is where we want to point you to good deals. Okay, if you look at the past 1 year or so, okay, from December 2022 until now, these are the transactions that is happening in the Dairy Farm area, which is in District 23. All right, for a unit space of 1,100 to 1,004 square feet. All right, the gray dots, as you can see, are the transacted property, new launches property prices. They are all above 1,009 per square foot. So one of the projects with the lowest PFS right now in OCR region is actually the Botany at Dairy Farm.
Okay.
All right, its price is from 1,833 per square foot.
Wow.
And a 3-bedroom unit for only 1.899 million. So the Star Buy promotion is up to 125,000 discount. There's further additional 10,000 discount for this. So lots of deals that presents value, all right, for the Botany at Dairy Farm.
So compared to the rest of the transactions in the same area of similar size, this certainly looks attractive. This Botany at Dairy Farm.
Right, so we are in the market every day. We feel that this is a good deal that's currently presented in the market.
Okay. What's the other one?
The next attractive active one is Cynical Residence.
Okay.
And that's in the Tanah Merah, next to the Tanah Merah MRT.
Wow.
Okay, and why Cynical Residence? The same thing, we take a look at the last 1 year transactions.
Okay.
Okay, the average price is 2050 PSF. Okay, and most of the units sold is above this average price. Okay, it's a mixed development. Cynical Residence is next to the MRT stations. Of course, there's a one price promotion for selected units from 1963 per square foot.
Wow.
All right,
One price.
all right, so the 3-bedroom units, it's only from 2.238 millions.
Okay.
So for those who are listening to us today at Realty Talk, if you have any question regarding these new condo launches that presents as good value buy, you may want to contact us by scanning on this QR code. Okay, once again, all right, these are some of the new launches that presents values. All right, when we say show me the money, we want to show you where the good deals is. Of course, before we leave tonight, there is one place you can find your next great deals, and that is at ERA auction.
Okay. Have you been to auction?
Of course. I always go to auctions, and in fact in ERA we have an auction department.
I see.
Okay, let me show you some of the great deals that has done by ERA auctions. This example is a 4-bedroom at Tate Residences.
Okay.
Okay,
one?
unit size is 3,208 square feet.
It's a 4-bedroom.
All right, it is successfully sold during the auction. Opening price 7.88 million. All right, and it is sold at 8.6 million. All right, in fact, today's price have actually gone up.
Yes.
And the price, in fact, there is a paper gain
Yes.
of about 1.7 million if it's based on the
Based on
most
today's price.
recent transactions. All right, so auctions actually presents quite a great opportunity
Yes.
to find good deal.
Yes. So in summary, this unit was auctioned off in June 2021 at 8.6 mil. And based on today's price, if you were to sell it in the market, it's a paper gain. I mean, based on today's price, without selling it, there's already a paper gain of about 1.7 mil.
Yeah, because the per square foot right now is about 3,002.
Correct.
Okay, so what about other units that is sold at below guide price?
Okay.
Okay, so these are some example. There is also, the deals are also concluded during our auctions and also private treaties.
I see.
All right, for non-landed residential property, which are all the condos, okay, that you can see here. The most recent that we have done in December last year is a 1,009, almost 2,000 square feet Summerville Park at District 10.
Wow.
All right, the guide price is 4.45 million, and it was sold at 4.45 million at only, all right, 2,284 per square foot in Prime District 10.
And this one has unblocked
All right,
potential.
sounds like an OCR price right now. Oh, of course, this is not a new launch.
Yeah.
This is a resale property and a freehold property in Prime District 10.
That's right.
And you're right, probably there is on-block potential. Okay, so these are some of the very exciting transactions that we have seen in ERA auction. And besides, ERA auctions also offer quite a lot of commercial property deals.
Okay, so not just residential. We can
Not just condo, there's also landed property
Okay.
that we have sold. There's also office, okay, that we have sold. Of course, some of these deals are sold during auction. Some of them are sold after auctions, which is private treaty. Okay, so in our auction department, we also present banks listing. That means repossessed property that is not put on auction, which means we have a bit of advantage lah.
Yeah, we have to sell by
Alright.
private treaty.
Yeah, because we are from ERA,
Yes.
we got a bit of advantage. So you guys out there that is consumer, you may not have this info. So if you want this info, very simple. You just scan on this QR code and then leave behind your contact informations. We will be able to send you the list of auction property and also private properties that is foreclosure units from the banks, but it's not put on auction yet. You can have that first-hand information, and we can even sell it to you, all right, before we put out for auctions.
Yes, so this is a way to get additional list of properties for consideration. if you're in the market house hunting.
Right. So we have come to the end
Yes,
of
another
our
edition.
Realty Talk.
Right, that's right. So we've covered quite good ground today. Basically show you the money, right? And we have left you with quite a number of good deals to consider, right? Do take time to look at them. And if you need additional information, always contact us through the WhatsApp. All right, if you have scanned the media code, you can contact us through WhatsApp. So till our next show, right, we'll say good night tonight and have a great week ahead. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.